Question number 3, Craig Foss.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance and reads, what steps is the government taking to tackle youth unemployment during the recession?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, the government has set out from the start of this year to take the sharp edges off recession where it can, and it's taken several steps to combat youth unemployment, which is one of the sharp edges of recession. The package of worth $152 million announced by the Prime Minister at the weekend will create, over the next couple of years, about 17,000 job opportunities for young people across a range of activities. Education and training is a key part of our economic plan, and the package will create 4,000 new tertiary training places for 16 and 17-year-olds. In addition, it includes 4,000 6-month job placements for low-skilled young people and businesses, and about 3,000 jobs of up to 6 months in community programs.
Craig Foss.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Supplementary to the Minister of Finance. Why is the government undertaking such a comprehensive package?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, the number of young unemployed has climbed from 4,000 last June to nearly 17,000 this June. As the government signalled from the start of the year and again in the budget, we believe it's important that young people do not become completely detached from the world of skills and work. We want to make sure we don't risk diminishing the potential of a generation of New Zealanders hit by a combination of the New Zealand recession that began the beginning of last year and the global recession which hit about 9 months ago.
Jacinda Ardern.
For his $152 million package come from the $167 million that was slashed in the budget from skills training, the scholarship schemes that helped low-income young people into tertiary education, and the Enterprising Communities Fund? And if so, is the government's approach to unemployment less about sharp edges and more about cutting and pasting?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the government has spent some time evaluating the effectiveness of spending left over from the last government, who clearly made decisions when they thought that surpluses would go on forever. Some of those decisions we have now reversed. In this case, we are focusing strongly on keeping young people in contact with workforce and skills. We believe that is the right response to the recession.
Craig Foss.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Supplementary to the Minister. What is the intended result of this package?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, well, there's a number of intended results. One is simply to ensure that young people who would be on the dole, losing a sense of discipline and losing their work habits, are actually in some kind of constructive activity, and that in itself will be of benefit. But in the longer term, we think it is an opportunity for those young people to pick up skills and a work record so that as this economy recovers, they will be able to get real, sustainable jobs. Many of them are on the dole because they relied on jobs that were the product of 10 years of bad economic management, of too much borrowing and too much government spending.
Rahui Katane.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister of Finance. How does a focus on youth unemployment align with the focus on whānau ora?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the responsibilities for a young person who is unemployed can easily fall back on the whānau. In this case, we want to contribute to supporting whānau by supporting their young people and also to provide the opportunity for, in the case of Maori, iwi and other community groups to get together and provide opportunities for their young people, and that, of course, will also support the health of the family.
Craig Foss.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Supplementary to the Minister of Finance. Has the Minister seen any reports on alternative approaches to unemployment? The
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, I have heard some calls from the opposition to, quote, do something, but the ideas it comes up with seem to involve extending the welfare state, not actually saving jobs or creating jobs.
Question. Point of order, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr Speaker, my apologies to the House. I should have sought leave at the end of my question, but I'd like to seek leave to table 4 separate letters.
Leave is on. Yep.
The first letter, Mr Speaker, is a letter from Mount Roskill Primary School to the Prime Minister talking about the strain the cuts are placing on parents.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is none.
Mr Speaker, the second letter is from Mount Roskill Grammar School to parents and caregivers that indicate that the therapy service will need to be significantly reduced because of the cuts.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is none.
Mr Speaker, the third letter is from Mount Roskill Intermediate School to the Honourable Anne Tolley that says the rights of the children who will be affected by the cuts will be compromised by that decision.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is none.
Mr Speaker, the last letter is from the Carlson School for Cerebral Palsy. It's an open letter to the families of the school, and it says that they'll lose half of their occupational therapy and physiotherapy staff if the funding cut goes ahead.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is none. Question. Beg pardon. Point of order, the Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, I seek leave to table the information provided by the Ministry for Economic Development on the cost impact of a 100% renewable target by 2020.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is none.